anything? Oh, it says recording in progress.
Yep.
Bingo.
So you have to tab to.
Social Security Administration, Facebook, heading.
So you'd have to tab to accept that the recording is in progress. Yeah, I'm seeing pause recording and stop recording, so I've obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to go?
Yep, we're ready. They can pop in.
All right. And this goes for 2 hours, or is it up to 2 hours? What is our plan here tonight?
We usually go the full 2 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, this makes for a long day. I got up at 4 this morning. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Bishop. I work at the University of Arizona as a IT accessibility consultant. I've been working in technology since, oh my gosh, for a really long time, about 40 plus years at this point, in some way, shape, or form. And so tonight we're here to talk about the iPhone. And before we dive into specific things that we will cover this evening, I want to find out what type of devices each of you have. So if we can go around the list of participants here, or at least, if you can hear my voice, feel free to shout out. I'm just interested to find out what type of devices everyone is utilizing, because that will help me understand how we're going to be teaching tonight. So who would like to start?
Okay, Barbara, I have an SE3.
Okay, so you do not have the new, when did you purchase that? How long ago was that?
2 years, 22.
2 years ago, yeah.
22,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, all right, SE3. Okay, very good. Who else?
Annie, I have the same SE.
Okay.
Nancy
Diane
Dipples.
D. Oh, go ahead, Nancy.
I have an iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Okay. This is very helpful.
Diane.
Yeah, go ahead.
Diane D. And I have an SE. I think it's 2020 SE, the second generation or whatever. I'm not sure. I've had it about 3 years.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. So what this means is that you guys are on devices that do not necessarily have the latest functionality that Apple provides, but I think that you have definitely capable devices that we can demonstrate. So tonight, I have a list of items that were given to me, Barb gave them to me, and I'm actually going to defer to those for a while here, because I want to make sure you guys are aware of some really interesting functionality that exists with an app that I think if you're not utilizing today, then you ought to consider utilizing. And so first of all, how many of you are using apps like Be My Eyes or Ira or Seeing AI and those types of things? Are you using those apps on your devices?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you find those to be? You like those? Okay. So this is I'm going to show you something that I think you'll find interesting. Now the caveat to this is that, at least depending upon the application that you are working with, it will depend on whether or not the application is free or not. So we will show you both of them that I think would be interesting for you. And because your devices do not have AI built into them directly, we have to sort of approach it and AI stands for artificial intelligence, and we have to sort of approach this a little bit differently to be able to facilitate you having similar experiences where you can do some equivalent things that you could with other applications. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my iPhone here, and I wish I could get this louder. Can you hear this all right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So I am on my iPhone, and I'm going to just demonstrate something here first, and then I will show you another tool that does a similar type of a thing, and then later on I'll provide you links to these things later so that you can have them. But what I'm going to introduce you to is a feature in many of you may have heard of ChatGPT. Have you heard of ChatGPT?
Yes.
I use
Okay.
it all the time.
Use it all the time, right? Do you pay for a
Oh, yeah.
subscription, or do you
No,
you
I
do
use the free one.
you use the free one? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you a feature of the paid version. Now, you don't have to pay to use ChatGPT in general. However, if you were to, then this is a feature that you would gain access to. And then there's another app called Google Gemini that if you have a Gmail account or a Google account, then you can access that for free. And it does similar types of things. So let me show this to you because I think that you might find this compelling. I, for one, am utilizing this feature more than I am using Seeing AI or Ira or Be My Eyes, because I find it to be much easier to work with. Okay, so I'm going to open up ChatGPT here, and I'm just in a regular chat field here. No, nothing special. It's just a regular edit field, and I'm going to turn on a feature. And unless you're paying for ChatGPT, you wouldn't have access to this, but I will show it to you, and then you can determine whether or not it's something you want to do or not. If you don't have to, but I thought we should show it to you because I don't know that many people know about it. So I think it's good to demonstrate, okay? So I am going to touch my screen here, and I'm going to move to a switch to voice mode button, okay? So I'm going to tap on this, and now it's going to switch to a voice mode, okay? Hello, how are you?
Uh-huh.
Watch.
Hey, speak now.
Oh, hello.
Speak now. Hello again. What's on your mind? Speak now.
Okay, we're doing a class and we're demonstrating the new enhanced conversation mode in ChatGPT.
That sounds awesome. It's a great way to show how dynamic and interactive the conversation can be. How can I help with the demo? Speak now.
Okay, so I'm going to turn on my camera and then we're going to actually show something to them that I think might be kind of compelling, all right?
Sounds good. I'm ready whenever you want. Speak now.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera on. All right, now my camera is on, ChatGPT. Can you tell the camera's on?
Speak now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Open video camera. Click button. Double tap the toggle.
Okay, what do you see in front of you? It should be able to see it. Hold on here. Okay, can you see now? Why is the camera? Let me see. Okay. Do you see the camera now? Ah, really interesting. Because usually it works fine. I'm gonna kill this. Let me just make sure there's nothing else running that would be taking advantage of the camera. I don't think so. Let's try this again. Chat. Switch the voice mode. Okay, can you see the screen? Can you see with the camera now? Okay. So I don't know why this is not working at the moment, but what
It's only
isn't
because we're all listening, that's why.
exactly. Okay. So what's interesting is that this has worked pretty darn well for me under most circumstances. Now it is pretty dark in this room, but I don't think that should have anything to do with it. I am going to while we're doing this, I'm going to reboot my phone real quick, and then we will try it one more time and just make sure, because I definitely want to show this to you. So I'm rebooting the phone. So what this is intending to do is that you can have a conversation with ChatGPT or with other applications. And when you're taking pictures with Seeing AI or with Ira Access or Be My Eyes, right? You can send additional questions, but you yourself have to be the one that interacts, right? In other words, you're not talking to it. You're having to type back, or you're having to dictate to it, or you're having to do something that allows you to there we go. You have to do something that is going to allow you to interact with it, right? As opposed to using your voice. So let me give you an example of a situation. I went to Nebraska a few weeks ago for the Nebraska State Convention. And there I had an opportunity to stay there for a few days. And so in the hotel room, we had a thermostat that looked like a square box on the wall, and the buttons were all square, and there were 6 buttons that went across. There were 2, one on top of the other, and so you had basically 3 sets of buttons. There was no shape of them that had like an arrow or anything, so it was truly difficult to try to figure out what was the intent in reference to, how do you turn the volume up, or not the volume, but the temperature up or the temperature down, right? There was no way to do that. So what I did was I opened up ChatGPT, turned on the camera, and I asked it to help me figure out how to adjust the thermostat. And it took it about 30 seconds to help me figure that out by us attempting different buttons. And then it finally said, hey, by the way, the temperature went up, and or went down depending on the button that I pushed. And if I had done that with Ira Access or Seeing AI or Be My Eyes, right? If I was just taking pictures, then it would have taken a lot longer. Or I may have had an issue where, like maybe I had a problem connecting to a volunteer, these types of things. So it just was really nice situation where it was
Mm.
really, really fast in its ability to give me that information. So it's all about, you know, being independent. So let me see. Let's try this now that I rebooted here. And if it doesn't work, I will figure this out for next time that we meet in next month. But I definitely wanted to show it to you here. Okay, so let me see here. New chat. It's switch to voice mode. Okay, the camera is on. Do you see anything? You there? I wonder if they're having internet issues. Are you there? Okay, can you hear me now? Do you see my camera now? That is really interesting, isn't it? Okay, fine. So, of course, you know, when you want to demonstrate something, it's going to fail, right? So, let's move to the list of items tonight and see what we got here. But I'll come back to this. But this is a feature that you know, if you could get working, would be really great to be able to do here. All right. All right. The first item that's on the list here is how to fix a phone number in a contact without completely starting over. Okay. So I assume that you have a contact on your device and you want to change a phone number, but it may simply just have one digit off, right? Is that what you're assuming here?
Yeah, that's
Right.
what we're assuming.
Okay, very good. All right, so what I'm going to do is there's a few ways to accomplish this one. There's a couple ways to do it. You could either open up the Contacts app or you could do it from the phone app. Now, I tend to do this through the phone app, and so this is probably going to be the simpler way to do it. So let's do that. So I'm going to open up the phone app.
Phone. Double tap to open.
Okay, so I'm going to open up. And at the bottom of the screen, you will see a number of tabs. Okay, so you'll see favorites, recents, contacts,
Yeah.
and keypad and voicemail. Okay, depending upon your carrier. But you all should have all of those tabs. If you don't have visual voicemail on your plan for your cell phone, then that voicemail tab may not appear. But most everyone has that these days. So I'm going to tap on contacts. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for my wife here, and we'll have to do some editing of this content because I don't want to give this phone number out over the internet necessarily if we're going to post this somewhere. So let's do that. So I'm going to double tap on contacts, and by default, it's going to bring up all of your contacts on your phone. Okay, now I have close to, I don't know, 700, 800 contacts on my phone. Okay, so I'm going to touch the upper left-hand corner and there's a list back button here. And I'm going to search for my wife. Her name is Carrie. So I'm gonna go over here. And there's the search field. So I just flick forward and I'm gonna type in Carrie. K-E-R-I, okay. And there's only one Carrie in my phone. It's spelled like that anyway. So here's Carrie. There she is. So there's Carrie. Okay, so that's my wife, Carrie. And I'm going to double tap on Carrie here. And now I have Carrie's contact card up here. Now I'm not editing it yet though. And you actually had two questions. One was about how to change the label of a phone number. And I'll show you that too. There's like a number of things we can do here at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to touch the upper left-hand corner of the screen, and I'm going to here back, and I'm going to flick over to edit. There it is. There's the edit button, and I'm going to double tap on that. And now I'm editing the contact. Okay. And so you need to be a little careful when you do this, but you know, so just make sure that if you make a mistake that you click cancel, or you double tap on cancel and don't save the changes, right? So, you know, just make sure you get it right when you're done. So I'm going to touch the screen. And there's her nickname, Care Bear. And I'm going to, okay. Now this is interesting because it just says phone button and it doesn't have a label. So the first thing is to find out what phone number it is, and then we can change the phone number type. Okay. So the phone number in this case, this is the family fax number. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to flick to the left. This is how you change the type of phone number that you have. You'll see a button. It may say that it's a mobile phone number. It could be that it's right. It could be any number of labels that you've assigned to it. But in this case, it just says phone. Okay. So if I double tap on phone, you get a list here of labels that are available. All right. So you have home fax, main, Apple Watch, iPhone, school, work, home, mobile, and there's probably more. Work fax, pager, other, and then if you wanted to, you could double tap on this add custom label and you could give it your own label. So you could simply double tap on this and then you can type in whatever label that you want for that specific phone number. In this case, it's a home fax number. So I'm going to move over here. There's home fax, and I'm going to double tap on that. And now it says home fax, you see? And you can do this for each of the phone numbers that you might have for someone in your contact card. So in this case, here's another one that's defined as a phone number. This is Carrie's. I don't think she's using this anymore, but we'll pretend that she is. This is a Google Voice number that she used to use when she was doing things like Shift and things like that. So let's just change this to work. Okay, so I'm gonna double tap on this just like we did before, and we're gonna find the work label. And there's work. So I'm going to double tap on work. And then I'll show you how to change the phone number itself in just a minute. So then that's an interesting phone number. What is that? That I think is that is another Google Voice number when we lived in Washington. So here is this is our home number. So I'll modify this to say home. So as you can see, you can assign as many labels as you want here. And then here's Carrie's cell phone number. So I'm going to change this to say iPhone. And there's iPhone. Okay, so now we have all the labels here. And let's just pretend that we need to fix one of these numbers. Now, this is where this gets a little challenging. So I'm going to go very slowly when I do this. But let's pick a number here. I'm going to pick...
You want to do like the fax number, and then that won't hurt anything?
Yeah, I can do the fax number. Okay. So here's home fax. And I'm going to double tap on it. And it said insertion point at end, okay? Which means that the cursor is sitting at the end of the phone number. Now, you could do this a number of ways, but if you just need to fix a specific character in it, then you need to use the rotor. Have you learned about the rotor?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
I don't love it.
Okay.
We kind of know.
Okay. All right. Well, the
Yeah.
rotor is a feature on the iPhone that allows you to select different things that you would like to do based on where the rotor is when you're moving the rotor around. So you do this by, it's like if you were to turn a dial like on an old-fashioned radio, right? So you take two fingers, you place them on the screen, and you twist them. So for example, I'm going to do this, and it says edit. That's not what I want. I want to go to characters. There we go. So I went forward on mine. Now this may vary on yours. And now I'm on characters. So if I flick up, those are the last 4 digits of the phone number. Okay. And then dash 400. So 400. Okay. And let's say I want to change the 400 to a 401. So what I can do is hit delete. And that deletes a 0. And I type in a 1. And now I have 401. Okay. So you find the digit you want to fix, you move to it, you hit delete, and then you type in the new number. Okay.
Jeff, where is the delete key there?
The delete key is on the bottom right. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to change this 1 back to a 0. So here's the 1. And the thing is that what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are moving away from the 1. So what I often do is I will flick up and it will say 1, which means that I've moved to the left of it. I will then flick down and it will say 1. And now I can hit the delete button, which is on the bottom right-hand corner of the phone. Okay. And then I type in the 0, which is in the center. Okay. So now we have 400, just like it was. Okay. And we're done. So then you can simply, click or double tap on save, which is up here in the upper left-hand corner of your screen is the cancel button. If I flick forward, there's a done button. And that's what you want to use is the done button. So you tap done, double tap on done, and it's saved. So it's back in your contact card. So that, my
Jeff?
friends, is how you do that. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. This always confuses me. So if I've got my insertion point, say I want to change the 0, like you said.
Yep.
The insertion point needs to be to the right of that 0. And what I mean is it going to
If you want to delete it, yes.
backwards?
Yes, correct.
It's like a backspace key on a computer in this delete
Similar,
key, right?
similar, yeah. That's how you should think of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you need to be in front of or to the right of whatever it is you want to delete before you delete it.
Yep.
Right, okay,
Mhm.
thanks.
Okay, any other questions on that?
Jeff, could you have also, do your insert at the end of the number and then delete one number there also?
You could, certainly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, you could. My suggestion to you really honestly is that if you're going to do a lot of editing of contacts or editing on your phone, that you use a Bluetooth keyboard. It's going to probably be a lot easier for you to do with a keyboard than
Oh.
it is using your touch screen. Okay. But if you're just doing one contact or one phone number change or something, then you can simply just, you know, just do it on your touch screen. But if you're doing a bunch, if you're planning on updating a bunch of information, then I would encourage you to spend that time and do it with a Bluetooth keyboard. You can get Bluetooth keyboards pretty cheap these days. You can get,
Mhm.
they range in price from, well, you can get some that are really cheap, like $25, and then you can get really fancy ones that will end up costing you a lot more money. So it just kind of depends on, what you're wanting to get out of a Bluetooth keyboard and what's your style. Everyone likes different things, and so you have to sort of base it on what you would prefer to do here. Okay.
If I can jump in for a second, remember, boys and girls, and Jeff, you'd have no occasion to know this, those of you who took advantage of those healthcare bags last year, they included a K585 Logitech keyboard, which you can certainly pair with.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Are they still giving those out?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right, very good.
John, was it hard to pair them?
Excuse me?
Was it hard to
Was it
pair them?
hard to pair?
No, not really.
phone?
It's been so long ago, and I use a keyboard that I've always used, but I don't think it was that hard. I could check. I guess what I'm saying is I can't now recall whether I did, but it has Bluetooth and RF capability. Now you'd have to do it by RF because you can't put the dongle in for the the RF way of doing it.
Okay.
I don't understand what you're talking about, John. What's the dongle for the RF?
All right. In other words, if you're not using Bluetooth,
Oh,
a dongle would be a tiny little receiver on maybe some other frequency. You'd shove it into a
Oh.
USB slot,
exactly.
and that would give you conductivity.
Oh.
So don't worry about
Connectivity,
it.
I
yeah.
see.
I am quite look.
Okay.
Logitech makes loads of keyboards. I cannot believe that it would be overly challenging to pair to the K585.
No, it's
I
sure.
just can't believe that it wouldn't be accessible.
Sure.
Logitech's been in the Bluetooth universe, Bluetooth keyboard universe for years.
Yeah, decades.
Decades. Okay, so
Yeah, they've been around a while.
okay, I'm going to go back on mute.
Okay, cool. There was a question here on the list about how to move the cursor from the beginning of the line to the end of the line. And you simply do that in a field by just simply double tapping on it again, and it will move the cursor from the beginning of the line or the beginning of the information on that line to the end of the line. It will tell you that it moved to the beginning or end. So that's how you do that. It's very, very simple to do. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay.
Does anybody have any more questions on contact or Jeff?
No?
No? Okay.
All right. Now, there's questions here about how to merge calls and these types of things. And I think this one's going to be a little bit difficult to do because we would have to make phone calls to do all that. Okay, so how do you get a message? One of the questions here was, how do you get a message if you've declined the call? Someone has called and they are going to leave a voicemail on your phone, and how do you actually get access to that? Okay. This is relatively easy. You simply just go to the phone app. Okay. And you go to that voicemail tab. Remember we talked about the voicemail tab before? Voicemail tab is on the bottom right-hand corner of your phone once the phone app is open. And if you double tap on this, then, and you see I have 102 voicemails on here because I never delete anything. So so once you've tapped you've double tapped on voicemail, then you have a list of them. So you can come up here and look at them. Okay. So here's a phone number, and I know who this is, but basically, and I'm not going to play it, but if you double tap on this, it's going to start playing your voicemail automatically if it's not been heard before. Okay. So I'm going to stop it because I don't want you guys to hear that necessarily, but it will automatically start playing it, and you can listen to that on your phone. If you pause it, there's a pause button there, and if you pause it, you can call the person. Okay. You can delete the voicemail, so you could delete it if, let's say it's a spam call or something, right? Advertising or something. You can delete it. Then there's transcription here, and your mileage will vary here as to how good the transcriptions are. It does a decent job if the person is speaking clearly and has a really good sound on their phone, but it's not an absolute guarantee there. So your mileage could vary. Yep. So this is from Fidelity, and they're calling me about my personal Fidelity account. So we won't go into that, but there's a transcript there, and I could read that if I wanted to. So I could just read the text if I wanted to do that. And again, it will depend on how good the audio was. Will depend on how good the transcript will be. Now, if I move forward here, then you can figure out, you can rate the transcription. Okay. Here we go. So you can rate the transcription. Now you can also share these. Let's see. So if you're on the call button, you can flick down and you get additional options. So in this case, you can do more information, which will give you more information about the person who called. And then there's a share option here. Wouldn't it be cool? Let's say you get a voicemail and you want to share it with someone. Maybe it's an important message and you want to send a copy of it to John. Okay. You can do that. So you can flick down to share, and you can double tap on it. Okay. And it shows you the time that the recording was made. And you can either airdrop it, which in this case we don't want to do, or you can send it via the Messages app. Okay. And you can send a copy of it to John. You can also mail it to someone. Okay. So you can either send it as a text message, or you can send it as an email, or you can actually attach it as a note, or you can move it into the journal app. There's a journal app on your phone now if you've updated to the more recent version of iOS. And then there's a number of other apps that you could put the attachment in if you have them on your device, like Book Player, which we should talk about one week. Book Player is an amazing app, and if you don't have it, you should. It's very, 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 very good. I really enjoyed that app. And anyway, there's a bunch of different apps here. We won't go through all of them here. To move back, you simply scrub with 2 fingers, right? Like you're scrubbing the screen. So you take 2 fingers like a Z, and you just squiggle.
Jeff?
Yep.
Like that share button under the more?
It is right below more. So you'll
Oh,
touch
below
the
more.
call button and then you'll flick down twice to go to share.
Okay.
Okay, so and that makes it really nice. You can share your phone call or your voicemail with whoever you want. So it basically takes that recording and sends that recording off to someone. You could even upload it to a computer if you wanted to, or to Dropbox, or send it as an email attachment if you wanted to do that. That would be fine. You know, you could do any number of things there. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on retrieving voicemail or sharing content as part of your voicemail?
No, but what I was thinking of, sometimes when you skip a call, they'll send you a message, can I call you back later? And I was just wondering where that was.
That will be in the Messages app. So if
Well, it's a phone call, and you hit skip, and then there's some place where you can put it on your phone. Can I call you back later? Or
yeah, so what you can do is you can send a message. And the iPhone has a number of predefined messages like, can I call you later, or I can't talk right now, or
right. So I was wondering where is that and how do you do that?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, I'm gonna need someone to call me. John, can you call me?
Is he there?
John? I don't think I can. I can't call myself. So
Here, hold on. I'll call you.
hold on. I gotta turn it on ring mode. I won't hear it.
Hey Siri, call Jeff Bishop.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna tap on message. So I can decline or send a message. If I tap on message, then I can do custom. Can I call you later? I'm on my way. Sorry, I can't talk right now. So I just tapped on sorry, I can't talk right now. And it automatically sent it. Okay. So it's gone. Okay. So it's gone. It just
To the message app.
and it's in the Messages
To
app.
the-
That's correct.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So that's how that works. You basically just you tap on message, and instead of decline, you tap on message, and then you tap on the you can either tap on custom message and then you can type in your own, or you can use one of the predefined ones, like I can't talk right now, or I'll call you back, or you know, any of those things. So it's real simple. And then that will appear as a message in the Messages app. Okay.
So you said in the Messages app. Okay, where would that be then? When you decline the phone call, where's the Message app at that point?
If you tap decline, then it will not be in the Messages app because you are declining the call. So it will be up to them to leave a voicemail at that point. So if they do not leave a voicemail, then you won't get a message. Do you see?
Oh, yeah, but how do I do the can I call you back later, all that?
Right. So when your phone rings, just like it happened here, you'll hear your phone ring, you'll touch your screen, you'll flick over to either decline, or there'll be a message button. Okay.
Oh, right next to the decline button. Okay.
There's a message button, correct? Right next to it. So you just flick to the right, and then there's a message button. So you tap on the message button, and then you can select from one of the predefined messages.
Oh, okay. So you don't hit decline. All right.
Do not hit decline, no. If you want to send a message, no. Okay.
Do you know where it is in relation to decline? Because I've never seen it. I've seen record. I've never.
It has to be while the phone is ringing, John.
Oh, okay. Well, the phone.
While the phone is ringing, physically ringing. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that's how that works, is you tap on message, and then you can then select from any number of the choices that are there, or you can tap on custom message and then you can type in your own message. But that takes a while. So generally what I do is I just select one of the canned ones, and it's usually I'll call you back, or I can't talk right now, or, you know, one of those types of things. Because it's really meant for,
Jeff? Yeah.
yeah,
So if I am already on the phone with someone else and a person tries to call
you
me
can do the same thing.
just by going in and finding message and tapping it.
Yep. So you'll hear the caller ID sound. It will go boop boop, right? Then you can touch your screen. You can then either, you know, put the person on hold and answer the call, or you can tap on message and you can then send them a message and say, hey, I'll call you back. Same thing. Does exactly the same thing.
And then when I do that, it also hangs up their phone call.
It does.
Okay.
Because you've responded, you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
thanks.
yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Anyone have any questions on that? We're getting through a lot of these. Okay. How to share a contact card. Okay. Well, it's the same way that you did for sharing a voicemail, really, except it's a little slightly different. So we'll show that to you here. Let's see, let me unlock my phone. I plugged in some headphones so you don't hear my code. Okay, so I'm going to now here unplug this. So remember, we have Carrie up on my contacts here. So I'm going to go back to phone, and I'm going to go to contacts here. And there it is. And I think Carrie is still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
There we are. Carrie's right here. There she is. Okay. So if I want to share her contact with someone, then I have to go to share. So this is down on the bottom. So the best way that I have found to do this is to touch the bottom left hand corner. It will say favorites, and then I flick to the left, and it will say this may sound different, but it kind of depends on what is going on your device. Mine says link contacts, but yours may not say that.
Yeah.
So I will flick to the left. You can block a caller. I better not do that to my wife. That would be sad. Okay. You can add this person as an emergency contact. So this would allow you to mark them as someone that would get notified in case of an emergency. There's an add to favorites button. And so if you do that, then you can select which phone number to add, and you can then have them appear on the favorites tab. And there's share contact. All right. So if I tap on this, double tap on this, it does exactly the same thing that you saw when we did a voicemail. So you can either airdrop or send a voicemail. Send a message or send it via email. So you can see here. Oh, first it shows the fields that you want. Okay. So right now it's showing me all of the fields that you want to share here, which is really cool. So let's say that you want to only send someone the name and a phone number. You don't want them to know the birthday or the address or their email address or anything of that nature. You can turn specific fields on or off, and you simply find the one that you want to turn on or off and double tap on it. It will say selected if it's going to be sent, and it will not say selected if it's not. Okay. So like, for example, let's say first name. I'm going to double tap on this, and now it doesn't say selected anymore. See, it says first name, Carrie. So I'm going to double tap on this because I do want to send that. And so what you can do here is you can touch the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and there's a select all fields button. Okay. So you could do that if you so desired. If you wanted to do that. And then there's a done button up in the left-hand corner of the screen. And so I'm going to tap on that and double tap on done. So, okay. And then it comes up and it gives you the options how to send it. So you can airdrop it. Okay. You can send it as a text message, or you can mail it. Okay. And then you have to type in the phone number or the name of the person to send it to. Whether you're sending as a text message or you're sending it as an email, it doesn't matter. Either one is fine. And then you just tap on send when you're ready to send it, and it will whisk its way over to that person's device. So it's quite simple to do, really. Makes it really, really nice. And you can add any number of people to that. So for example, let's say you want to send a contact card and you want to send it to 5 different people, you can do that. You can add all 5 people to the same message or same email and send it as one message, and it will go to all 5 of them. So that makes it really sweet. Okay.
Jeff.
How would you do that?
Annie
If
and
you
I
want to
did-
select,
Sorry.
if you want to select more than one person to send the same, and to share anything, I'm assuming it'd be about the same, not just share a contact. How do you do that?
Okay. And then I'm going to need to take a break for about 2 minutes when we're done with this.
Yeah.
But just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to tap on this and I'm going to go back to share. So let's go back. And then I don't care to change the fields in this case. So I'm going to tap on done. And do you want to send it as a mail message, or do you want to send it as a text message?
As a text message.
Okay, text message. Okay, so I'm going to send it here. So I'm going to tap on messages. Okay. So now it brings up a to field. See?
Right.
So you type in the name. You type in the name here. So I'm going to send it to my dad here. So I can just type in like. I can just type in Bud, B-U-D. And there's my dad. So if I double tap on him, right? What I did was I typed in the first 3 letters of his name, and then I found him on the screen and I simply double tap on him. Okay. So now he's been added. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So now I want to add another one. So let's do John. And then John M. And I'm sure I'll find John McCann here. So let's touch the screen. There he is. There's John McCann. So if I double tap on him. So now I have John and my dad here, and you can look at this by looking at the screen. So you go to the to field. And it just says, yeah.
So Jeff, I noticed, for example, in the to field in a regular email, one of the first choices is add contact. Is that how you would, if I've already typed one person in, if I go add contact, does that allow me to search for another person's contact?
Well, right now we're talking about a text message.
Right. Okay. But same thing. Say.
Well, not exactly the same thing.
No. Okay. Never mind then.
But no, it's fine. No, it's fine. As long as you're pulling from your default location for your contacts, you can just start typing a person's name. And then it will show you it will autocomplete. It will show you the list of things that match that person. So as long as you
double tap on that,
you just double tap on them. Exactly. And then you can do
once
that.
I enter that one, then I go back and start typing another person's name.
That's right. And double tap on it again and keep going and keep going and keep going. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
Makes it really simple that way. So you can continue to, type in names and double tap on them and send as many as you want. I've sent as many as like 75 people at a time. So yeah, that you do with a keyboard. You don't do that on your screen. That just takes too long.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I need to take a bit of a break. So
okay, we'll talk on this end.
So you talk amongst
Um,
yourselves.
I
and
was
will
just
be
gonna
right
say that I was with Annie, and we did an airdrop the very first time. Annie, you want to
Yeah.
tell 'em how we did it? Annie, are you there? Oh,
Yes, I'm here.
okay. Tell them how we did the airdrop. That was so cool.
We did, I wanted to send her a contact that was in my list. And so if you go all the way on the contacts, if you go all the way to the bottom, there's a share word down there. So I tapped on that, and then it came up with the different ways of sharing. And the same thing is true if you hit the share button when you're in, well, sometimes I share something that I'm reading.
Websites or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you hit the share button, and the same thing with the contact when I hit share, the first choice is AirDrop. And I'd never used it before, but I'd read about it. So I hit AirDrop, and it wanted to know who I wanted to share it with. And then we had to put our phones together. And I tapped on it, and at first it didn't do it. So then it said, put the top of the phone right next to the other phone. And we did that, and it went bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah, it made a lot of noise.
Yeah. And then it asked Barbara if she wanted to accept it. She had something from me. Would she accept it? And she tapped yes. And then it put it in her contacts.
It said save, and there it was. It was
So you
so
physically
easy.
have to be in the same place, though.
Yes, you
Correct.
have to be within, well, in this case, we almost had to touch the phone, but I forget what I've
Yeah.
read, that it has to be very close to it. And this is,
Okay.
so somebody can't just walk by and be sharing things.
Right.
But it was very, very helpful if you wanted to transfer data. But you know, there's a share button at the top of most of the screens, and it's a square with a little mark on the top, and that's the share button. And AirDrop is at the top, and then it goes down to, as Jeff was talking, messages, mail, and I forget what else is over there, but it goes down with different choices. I usually use the mail one. Or at the bottom, you go all the way down, and it will add to home screen or add to favorites. And you click on that. And if it can, it will add. So sometimes when I'm reading something and I know I want to come back to it, I put it on the home screen or add to favorites, and then I can read it several times and delete it quite readily.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. Where are we going next? Look. I'm gonna do InnoSearch later because I have not actually used that site as much yet, so I want to make sure that we are I'm more familiar with that before we do that. Okay. You have a question about Pi, huh? Is this the
That's the one I use. I don't use OpenChat. I use Pi.
Okay, I don't know if I have, let me see. Do I have Pi installed? Let me see here. Let me look here first.
But Pi doesn't read things. But Pi will look up stuff for you on the internet and that kind of stuff.
It will,
Pi's
yeah.
really
I'm familiar
good
with
at
what
that.
it is. Yeah, I'm familiar with what it is. Let's see. Do I have that installed? I don't think I do.
Well, you could show them how they would do it on the App Store.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to go get this app, all right? So let's go get it together, shall we? I'm going to go to the App Store here, and I'm going to do a search. So my App Store icon is right here. It's on the doesn't matter where it is really, because everybody's screen's going to look different. Mine's up on the top row, but here is App Store, and I'm going to type it. I'm going to double tap on search, and search is on the bottom right hand corner, and it's Pi, right? PI, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to search for it, and let's just make sure it finds the thing.
Is that your dog snoring?
That's not my dog. I don't know what that is. Um, hmm. Is someone asleep?
I don't know.
I think someone's
They need
asleep.
to mute themselves, whoever it is. It sounds like a dog to me. I don't.
Okay, so here it is, Pi, your personal AI assistant. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So I've already downloaded this once, but apparently it's not on my phone. So I'm going to download it now, and I'm going to open it, and let's try it. So someone's snoring. I'm going to skip signing up for now. So can you talk to it, or do you have
Yes,
to type to it?
You can talk to it, but you have to double tap.
Yep. So there's a
top.
so there's a
what you
so
want
there's a
it to say,
so
what
there
you want, and then you send it. Like I asked it how to block a text message, for example, using Voiceover. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a button. So
Anything like that.
So there's a button here that's not labeled properly. It says like call_24 or something. So mine doesn't say.
But if you click over, you should have a text field where you can dictate.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay. Hello. Let's see. Oh, do you have an interesting voice? Can you change your voice?
I'm all text, so my voice isn't really
We
adjustable.
can't quite
Sorry
hear what
about
it
that.
said.
Is there anything else you'd like to know?
It's pretty loud. You can't hear that?
No, I can
Now we
now.
can.
You just turned
Okay,
it up,
okay.
but I didn't hear what he said.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand. I can't hear anything because I'm just a computer program. I can only process the text you send me.
Oh, interesting. So I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to go to the text field here. What is the capital of France? Okay, so I'm going to. And then there's a send button. So I'm going to tap on send.
Right, there's a send button.
Button.
And I don't know if it's going to. I don't know what it's going to do. Oh, it doesn't speak it, huh? If you dictate.
No, mine speaks it beautifully.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, so that works. Yeah, so this is Pi. So you can download it. You can dictate in the text field. You can speak to it, and that's fine. It works great. There's a number of these. There's all kinds of them that are available that do these types of things. So if you're bored, you can find a bunch of these out there that are out on the App Store.
Well, I've used Pi quite a bit. I asked it all kinds of questions. It's good. It's really good.
Okay. Um, okay, so you wanted to talk about podcasts. Now, this is a complex topic because lots of people use lots of different things to subscribe to them.
Oh, are we talking about the podcast app, the Apple Podcast app? That's what I was talking about. And then
I'll get there.
Yeah, it has different tabs across the bottom.
Yeah, I'll get there in just a minute. So someone is really snoring. Can we find out who that is, John?
He's gone again.
I think he's gone.
No, I'll take a look.
Okay.
I know I host, but I don't do much with hosting. I'll take a look.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the podcast app. So this is a pretty complex. We could almost spend 2 hours just on this app. It's a pretty complex app, and this might be where we end up tonight. Tonight is this last thing that we do tonight. So okay. That's very distracting.
Yes, I know. Hang on, I'm trying to deal with it. Just carry on as best you can.
Okay, so I'm going to open up the podcast app here. Okay. All right, so I have the podcast app open, and podcasts are basically ways that you can download content. It's generally audio-based content, but you can get video-based podcast as well. But generally, there's audio-based content that you can get, and you can get it from lots of different sources and lots of different things that you can download. All of the ACB media things are there. You can download things from the New York Times or National Public Radio or Fox News or ABC or NBC or CBS or anything that you want. It's available here. When you open up the app, it has a number of tabs as was described at the bottom. There's a home tab, okay, and if I keep going to the right, there's a browse tab, and I'll show you that in a minute. There's a library. This is where once you've added podcasts to your list, then they appear in the library. And then there is a search, okay? And that's it, okay? So let's start with browse. And if I double tap on browse, we'll go to the top of the screen and it says browse heading. And there's an account settings button. You can go in there and adjust some things. We're not going to do that right now. Okay, so it's going to recommend things to you based on what it thinks is top of mind for most people these days. So it's going to show you a number of podcasts that are available.
I thought we could download the ACB one. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. So, but this is basically just letting you look at podcasts that are available that you could subscribe to. Okay, so it just shows you a bunch of things here. And I think you can even move by heading. Yeah, new and noteworthy, top shows, top series, top subscriber shows. So you can pay for some podcasts, by the way. Top episodes, new to podcast. There's a new to podcast section. And so you can go in here and you can look at what they might recommend for people who are just getting started with podcasts. Then there's a section called The Moment, New Seasons, Conversations about Climate. Anyway, there's a bunch of headings here under Discovery. Top trailers. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So you wanted to know how to get like let's go to the ACB community feed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And how do you describe and then how do you play it?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna tap on search and I'm gonna type in I'm gonna double tap on the search field here, and I'm gonna type in ACB and then community. Okay. Okay. So I typed in ACB community, ACB space community, and I'm going to do a search. And let's see what it comes up with here. So I'm going to touch the screen. Ah, there you go. There's one of the episodes. And so this is going to show the full ACB community feed. So if I double tap on this, then I can then subscribe to it. So I'm going to move forward. And it actually is, they don't call it subscribing anymore. They call it follow. So you can just double tap on follow. And it says following, okay? And by default, it's going to download an episode. And okay. So that one's downloaded already. Let's go get another one. So I'm going to flick forward. Blindness prematurity call. And I can flick up and down on that. I can do more, save, download, play next, play, or activate, okay? So is that saying played or played? I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is played. So you can mark it as you've already listened to it, for example. But in this case, let's download it. So I'm going to flick down and I'm going to double tap on download. So it's downloading it now. Here's community unmuted, and we can do the same thing. Download. Okay, so now we have a number of these, all right? So we've got 3 episodes from the community feed downloaded. And you say, well, how do I even play these? Well, you could do it right here, or you can, the better thing to do, and what you would probably do in the future anyway, is you would go to your library. So let's go to the library. Remember, it's a tab on the bottom. So you're going to double tap on library, and then you'll look at your screen. And it says recently updated. So there's We're Alive. That's a podcast I like. And there's ACB Community. So I will double tap on that. And now it's going to show me the episodes here. So you can rate it. So it shows you the episode that you've downloaded, see? And it even shows you other ones as well. As long as it's in your library, it's going to show you a number of episodes that are here. If I touch the top left-hand corner, and I'm just flicking. All right, so there's the blindness prematurity call. And if I simply double tap on it, here we go. Actually, you want to flick forward to the list of episodes, and then you can go to the play button here. So here's play.
Receptive program contributors that cannot be assumed to serve as endorsements of products or views by the American Council of the Blind and its elected officials.
Okay. And you can pause it with 2 fingers, just double tap in with 2 fingers on the screen. And then you can do things like you can go forward 30 seconds. Right. So you can even probably double tap and hold on it, and it will fast forward through the episode, those types of things. So that's the basic fundamentals of this app. There's a lot more to it than that. You can do you can set specific settings for each podcast. It's got a number of settings here that you can refine how you want things downloaded, how many episodes to keep, for example, those types of things. Let me show you how to get rid of one if you want to unsubscribe. So if you go to this following button here, remember that's how we followed it originally. It says following. If I double tap on that, it says unfollow show. It will ask me. So I can just double tap on unfollow show. So it says, do you want to remove all the episodes from the ACB community? And you can tap on remove from library, or you can keep all episodes. Let's say that you want to keep the ones you've downloaded, but you don't want to get any more and you want to unsubscribe from it so you don't get them anymore. You can do that either way. So, but I'm going to tell it remove from library. So if I double tap on that, then it's gone. And if I flick forward again, it just says follow now because I'm not following it anymore. See? So that's how that works. That's the podcast app. And it's a very basic app in that it doesn't have a lot of the features that other apps might have, like Overcast or Downcast or Pocket Casts, or there's there's literally dozens of these apps that are out there. There's oh my gosh, so many. So those tend to be a lot more advanced. They have a lot more features, but for what you guys are doing, the podcast app should be more than sufficient for you to handle whatever podcast listening that you want to do. Don't forget about ACB Link. That's available as well. And you can listen to podcasts as well as streams with that as well. And that allows you to get access to all of ACB media that way, very quick and easily that way as well. Okay.
Jeff, do you have to download the episode to save it?
Yes.
So if you just play it, then it's not saved. You have to download
Correct.
it to save it, correct?
Now it might download it automatically for you based on that, but I don't use the podcast app myself. I tend to use I use Downcast personally. which I like a lot, better, but it's just, it just depends on what your personal preference is.
Guys, I'm going to jump in here since aside from Jeff, myself, and Barbara, everyone else is muted. I can send everybody ask all to unmute. You're going to have to find where that is and accept that. If someone's still sleeping, they won't be awake enough to respond to it. I
There
didn't
you
mean to
go.
disenfranchise. I didn't mean to
No,
disenfranchise
that's all
anybody,
good.
but
That's
I
all
don't
good.
know what I'm doing. Everyone's going to get a ask to unmute. So if anyone has questions and they've been frustrated not being able to ask them, it's because you were inadvertently unmuted when I was trying to find who is snoring. So here comes, I'm going to hit the button. So as near as I know, everyone's been sent. I
Okay.
can't on my own motion unmute you. I've tried to unmute everybody and bring everybody where I can
No,
isolate.
they have to.
They have now at this point, it's up to you to bring yourself back into the
Correct,
conversation if you can. Otherwise, guess what? You're relegated to the recording while we can get that out.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
I-
So what I would,
This
go ahead,
is
go ahead.
Annie. I unmuted myself. I muted because I have a chiming clock.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say about the mute button. I unmuted it now, but you will hear
Okay.
every 15 minutes the chime.
Very
good.
good. Okay. So
Okay.
what I would like to do and I know this one's going to be a little bit shorter this evening, only because I'm wanting to try to get a list together, and I'm going to base this on the recordings. So John, when you send it to me, I'll pull it from that. What I would like to hear from you guys are like your top. I'd like to go around and this may take 10 or 15 minutes, so that's fine. What I would like to do is to have people go around the virtual table here and tell us the top three, or I mean, you can say more than three if you want, if you have more than three, and that's perfectly fine. This just helps me prioritize where we're going to go the next time that we meet in May. Okay. Which will be interesting because I am flying to Florida 2 days after that meeting. And so this will be an interesting week of a lot of stuff going on that week. So let's see. So Barb, I will start with you first, but I already have some items on your list here. I think what we're going to do next time is we're going to dive real deep into Safari. Just to let people know, that's where we're going to go next. Is we're going to dive deep into Safari. How do I browse the web? How do I pull up an article? How do I use reader mode? How do I deal with tabs? How do I close all the tabs? How do I close a single tab? Those types of things. We're going to cover a lot about that. That might take 30, 45 minutes next time. Because that's on her list. So we're going to definitely cover that. And we may cover I know search at that point as well.
Right, because that has both the shopping and the flight.
Yep. So we'll try to cover both of those things next time. We'll see if we can figure out a way where we can show you the three-way calling thing. We'll have to, figure out who we can be a guinea pig and do all of that. So we'll have to figure that one out. And there's a question here about flight search. Now, flight search, I'm just looking through your list here, Barb. There's a number of apps to do flight searches, and so it depends on which one you want to cover.
No, I was thinking of the one that we just talked about because they have flights on there.
They do.
Yeah, the InNo search has flights on there.
Oh, interesting.
And I
don't know that I would use that because you're probably not going to get the best deals for flights there, are you?
Actually, you are. They will match any other carrier, and they give you a $25 bonus for using it.
Interesting.
I just couldn't do it.
Okay. All right. I'll spend some time playing with this.
Okay. So I think you've got all mine. The only other one that we didn't cover, and I'm still having problems with, and then maybe another time, is I can't block the. I get the text message from the motor vehicles. I got 3 of them, and they're going to tow my car. which is we're all laughing because I don't
Oh,
even have a phone.
okay, okay. Well, you can.
And that is so hard for me. I don't know why, but
Oh, that's easy. So what you do here? Well, it's going to depend. Let me see here. Can I do this without messing something up here on my phone? Here, let me see.
well, you don't actually have to block it. You just could go all the way down there and not block it.
Let me see here. Okay, so okay, so I have a phone number here, and we're just gonna pretend. Let me do this. I'm gonna do delete. Yeah, see, it depends on the. Let me see. Can I double tap and hold on it?
I think you have to double tap on the name for all the other options to come up.
Yeah, so if I double tap on it here, no, I'm before I show you live here, just a second. So I'm gonna double tap on that. It was in the front room, Carrie, on the recliner. It's on the couch. Info. Ah, okay. I can show you now. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So, Barb, we're going to play with your phone number here. I'm not going to do it, but I will show you how it's done.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So here is your phone number. Okay. So that's you.
Yep.
And I'm going to double tap on you. Okay. And then I'm going to touch the top left-hand corner of the screen, and I'm going to flick forward. And it's going to repeat your phone number, and I'm going to double tap on that again. So because you have to bring
So
up
you have to double tap twice?
Yeah, so you have to first bring up the message, then you double tap on the phone number again in the left-hand corner. This brings up some buttons that you can then move through here. So you can do call, video, mail, info. And info is what you want, okay? Because that's going to give you all the information about the person. So if you had a contact card, it would show you all their information. If you know, so you're going to double tap on info. And then it actually says your name because it's based on caller ID. Okay. I should actually add you as a contact. I'll do that here in a second. So, and these are all the buttons here. Now all of these are dimmed. Oh, here's a phone. Here's another phone number for you. The 298 number. Is that you too? Okay. Okay. So what's cool about this is that you can do a number of things here. You can tap on create new contact, and that will take all the information that it knows, and it will create a new contact automatically for you, and you can save it. Okay. So you can do that. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to double tap on this. And I'm just simply going to click on done. Okay. And now you're in my phone. Okay.
Okay.
Now you're wondering, how do you block the person?
Right.
So you can simply flick down to where it says block caller and you double tap on it. It says you will not receive FaceTime messages. You will not receive phone calls, messages, FaceTime calls, blah, blah, blah. If you block the person, and you flick and it says block contact. And if you double tap on that,
Yeah,
then
it's on the very bottom, isn't it, Jeff?
yep, it is.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
So that's how you do it. Very simple. If you get spam and you have not dealt with the contact in the past, you can go to delete simply just by flicking up and then tapping on delete, and then you can just simply delete it, or you can report as junk. And what happens there is that the information is sent to Apple to help determine, they use that data to try to determine what is spam versus what is not, and so they can try to improve, that kind of stuff for people. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so I didn't tap twice, so that's right.
Yep. Okay, very good. Okay, does anyone else have any items that they want to be bringing up in reference to having a priority on the list to be scheduled? Oh, it's a quiet bunch here tonight.
Yeah, they're quiet. The only other thing we wanted to add was we were listening to unmute.show, and Marty came on with the do not disturb, and he said that there was a shortcut, and Annie and I looked through our shortcuts and we could not find it.
Ah, okay.
That was the only other thing I wanted to add, because that would be handy, because it would turn off the do not disturb when you left that place, because we've all done that where we forget to turn it off.
So we can go over do not disturb. There's a number of ways to do that. You can do it from the control center. You can do it with Siri. You can say turn on do not disturb, and it will automatically turn on do not disturb for you. You can set up do not disturb as a schedule. So you can say, when it's 8:30 at night, I want to go on do not disturb. If you wanted to, you could even set it up such that when the sun goes down, you go on do not disturb, and when the sun comes up, you go off do not disturb if you wanted to.
This is Annie. I've been using a manually do not disturb, but this said that you can, like we were at the meeting, and I would put it on or it would come on. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, you can schedule it.
When I left that location, it would automatically shut off do not disturb. I searched today on Safari and I found how to do it, but it doesn't work. I don't have one of the buttons that it said to use. So I would very much like that, because sometimes I forget to turn off do not disturb, and then I go sometimes several hours.
Sure.
But that would be very helpful.
Okay, so next month we're going to cover Safari, and we're going to cover do not disturb, because honestly, do not disturb can be very complex, actually. There's all kinds of settings and features that you can do there. So we will cover both of those items when we get together in May, and that will be a good couple hours there to cover both of those, because I think we're going to have to be pretty methodical about both of these topics to provide you lots of useful information there. Okay.
That'd be perfect with the no search. But eventually, Jeff, not these two meetings, we'd like to do the rotor. We're both having problems trying to copy and paste.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very interested in what you were doing at the beginning and on the chat GPT or whatever.
Yeah, I need to figure out why that's not working. I don't know why that camera is not working at the moment. I will work on that as well. Because that should be working. I mean, unless there's let me see here. Let me try here.
And then you said something about Google Gemini what do you have to have for that?
You can download the Google Gemini app. So you can just search for Gemini, Gemini, and download that.
What does that do?
That's similar to Google ChatGPT, basically.
All right. I've been
that-
using the AI on Be My Eyes, and
Yeah, it's great,
that's
isn't it?
it is really great. And when you said this whatever was better than that, I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, because we use Be My Eyes every day.
Okay, let's see. Can you see my camera?
Annie should.
I
Oh,
can't
good. It's working now. Okay. So let's see here. All right. So you can see my camera, right?
No, I can't see anything.
Yes, I can see it clearly.
No, I'm asking
Oh,
ChatGPT. Okay, great. I'm going to show you something. Can you tell me what it is? I'm going to hold the camera in front of something. Can you tell me what it is? Here, hold on. Let me position it. Okay, go ahead and tell me, what is that?
I can see.
Yeah, what type of cola is it? Okay, I'm going to turn the bottle and you can tell me whether or not you see something different on the label.
Sure.
Okay, I've turned it already. Okay, very good. Let's see. What else can I have it look at here? What do you see in front of you now?
We can't hear it
Is
talking.
it saying things to you? Because we're just hearing, we're just hearing slop, you know.
do you have Bluetooth? That is going to, I have Bluetooth to my hearing aids and
There you go. Right. So I'm pointing the camera at my computer screen. Can you read the text on the computer screen?
I can see some text.
Are you hearing stuff, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Yeah. Can you not hear it?
No, none of us are hearing. We're just hearing
No.
slop.
Oh,
you know.
that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why the
Yeah.
microphone's not picking. Oh, you know why? Because
No.
Zoom is probably canceling it.
Oh, Zoom may be canceling it.
Yeah,
Okay,
Zoom may
yeah,
be
but
canceling it.
Okay, that's why we
are
might-
getting information from it.
Um,
It's funny because
hello,
it goes.
hello, this is Diana. And I just wanted to say that the
Yeah,
only
so
time I get any video is when Annie talks. And then she pops up on the screen, but otherwise I've not been able to see a thing.
Other people may have their video turned off. I have mine turned off, you know.
Right.
so what I will do is I will record something and I'll play it through Zoom next time so that it doesn't do that.
Okay.
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 But basically ChatGPT is speaking to me. So if I speak to
Okay.
it speaks back. So in other words, it's truly like having a conversation with you, right? In other words, it's like talking to a person. And that's what's beautiful about it, right? Is that you can simply talk to it.
Okay, so you don't have to dictate like you did on Pi.
No, and you can have it just automatically look at things in front of you or whatever your camera is pointing at.
Okay, but you said this was a feature you had to pay for? It's
Yeah,
not on the regular one?
yeah, this one is a paid feature. It costs and depending upon how useful you think it is, it's actually, if you're paying a lot for IRA, it might be another option for you because it's only $20 a month. Plus you get a lot of other features as well with ChatGPT and you get more features. So it just depends on what you want to, AI is not cheap. I mean, this stuff is to get the really fancy stuff, it's going to cost you a bit. Okay, guys, I'm gonna it's about 8:10. I'm gonna kind of call it a night for tonight, if that's okay with all of you. And we will get together next time in May, where we will talk about 3 things: the rotor, Safari, and we will talk about Do Not Disturb. All right.
Very good.
Does that sound good?
Have a
Oh,
good trip.
and thank you. I learned a lot tonight, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you very much. All right. We'll see you everybody next month.
Good night.
Good night.